In the recent 8th anniversary livestream, they announced that there would be a Natalon Academy Moonlight Hero Selector. So those 7 ML5s will be, if you check the cast board, Hylian Lua, Lone Wolf Pera, Successor Teu, Bystander Hwayong, Boss Arunka, Arya, and Yolha. So this is just a quick priority list of who to grab if you're missing them. So to put that up on screen right here, the must-haves will be Arya and, not Arya, Yolha and Arunka, because they're both very strong. Arya and Teu are next. Teu, I would say mainly for Guild War. In RTA, he's mostly used with the Zio. So if you're not playing Zio, you won't really use him. But in Guild War, he's really strong because there's a lot of Zio offenses you can do. You used to be able to do a lot more of the Zio Dien Teu drafts, but even now there's stuff you can do, like you can do Zio Teu Saria, you can do Zio Teu and Fumir, because Teu kills the thing in the front or the thing at the bottom or top, and then Fumir bubbles the other. And if they placed an unimportant unit in the back, it's pretty easy, especially if Zio could silence them. The Zio Teu Saria draft in Guild War, he ignore ER def breaks everyone because you can put him on Thorn of the Blue Rose and put Saria on Aubade Orb, the Aubade Ludwig artifact. So you have 40 souls, Zio soul burns to guarantee Teu pushes, Teu soul burn def breaks everybody, and Saria is able to clean up whatever Teu doesn't one-shot. So that's a very strong thing in Guild War. Not so much in RTA unless you're playing Zio, but to be fair, Zio is pretty strong. If you check on slendy.gg, Bach is a very new player. Well, not very new, but 4 or 5 months, I think. And he's mainly been playing Zio. And he got Emperor last season and got pretty close to touching Legend. So I wouldn't discount Teu just because he's only used with Zio, because Zio is still a very strong unit. Arya, I think anyone who played last season will have run into Yolha, Arunka, Arya. Yolha, Arunka, Arya. It's a very strong core because Arunka protects everyone, Yolha can revive, and she makes Arya superhuman, and superhuman Arya does a lot of damage. So that was also a very strong draft. I just say Yolha and Arunka are a lot more versatile, so they definitely should be picked up first. As for the other 3 Natalon units, unfortunately, Hwayong isn't great. She used to be able to carry, to be able to solo carry against comps with a lot of debuffs in RTA, but everything just does so much damage now, and Hwayong is not a part of the units that do so much damage. She misses kill a lot, even on light units. She's just not very good right now. Pera, she used to be a pretty good opener, but right now there's a lot of good openers, and she just kind of doesn't make the cut. Everybody only has so much speed gear, and you're not going to put it on Pera. Hylian Lua she was also a very good opener, but sadly she just doesn't do enough right now. There's Aram who can just shut her down immediately. There's a lot of cleansers, there's a lot of faster units. We can take a look at one player who used to use her a lot, Daystar, and he does not pick Lua anymore, even though he used to a lot. Yeah, you might have seen him in, I think he was in E7 Masters, either E7 Masters or E7 WOC, but he's a very strong player, used to play Lua a lot, but she just doesn't fit in this meta anymore. Yeah, like if you check her RTA stats this season, hardly being played, not a great win rate. This is across all ranks, so this is even including probably some bronze stomping. She's just not that good. Same with Hwayong, same with Pera. They're not great. Although, I think you might still be able to find uses for Pera. I think it was at the end of last season, there was someone playing a lot of Pera. I don't remember if it was Sindri or Fivers, and I don't know if they're still doing it. Yeah, I don't know. I think Fivers was the season before, and then I think it was Sindri that was spamming it last season. But generally, she's not great. These people are very fast, so they're able to just kind of brute force her in. I generally wouldn't pick her. Boss Arunka, very strong. She lets you protect the rest of your team. She's not used as... She used to be played somewhat as a Rocket Punch DPS, but not anymore. There's just so much damage that can kill her. There's so much that she can't kill with just Rocket Punch damage. She's mostly just a protection knight with maybe Crown of Glory for Freerin. Freerin generally isn't seen as much, even though she's still very strong, so I'm not sure what other builds people are putting her on now in terms of artifact, but she's still very strong. Same with Schoolnos Yolha. Revivers are insanely dumb. Getting 100% speed is insanely dumb. Getting 100% HP is very dumb. And I'm just talking about RTA here. In Guild Wars, she's also really strong because Yolha plus Ras into 3 targets kills most things unless there's some sort of mitigation like Lady of the Scales, or if they have evasion. But generally, it's a very strong comp. There's someone I know in my guild who almost always uses Yolha Ras and is able to make it win against defenses because it just does so much damage. Ras has immunity buffs, so it's possible to use Christie to give Yolha ER, and then you have this duo core that solos. It can't be debuffed. It's really good. Arya, I already talked about in RTA. Very strong with the Yolha Arunka core. If you check the players using these units the most, by the way, Frozen Pork is at the top for all 3 of Yolha, Arunka, and Arya. So if you want a reference point, you can check him out. Check his slendy.gg. For trios, yeah, he's spamming Yolha every game, Arunka in a lot of them, Arya in a lot of them, and he's, I believe, pretty high rank. So yeah, if you have these units and you want to check out a reference, check this guy out, Frozen Pork. So, as I mentioned, Successor Teiyu, mainly with Zio, I said, and that's because a lot of the openers that push people back aren't used very much. Like, the ones off the top of my head are ML5 and Firelytica, but Firelytica is used a lot, but the Firelytica players still don't play Teiyu, even though she has a pushback. Like, if you check 2 of the strong Litica players right now, Wolf and Never Stress, both really fast players, playing Litica every game, top of the frequency listing for their units. They just don't play Teiyu. And part of that is because he's really easy to counterpick. Like, if you play Teiyu too early, they can go Emil plus Elvira and you're shut down. And it's just not that great in a lot of the drafts. He's also weak to revivers. Like, if you play him into Ruel, his thing is he can kill 1 unit. And then if Ruel revives them, it's just kind of... He's not that useful anymore because he's stuck not that fast. And he only counters if you crit him. So people can just kill the rest of your team, your squishy cleave team, after they revive. And it's just not that great. But overall, I'd say he's still strong. Like I said, in Guild War, there's a lot you can do with him. Yeah. And then these 3, not great. So overall, I would say this is a tier list. If you don't have Yolha or Arunka, grab them. If you have both of them, you can grab Arya to complete that strong core that I mentioned. You can grab Teiyu for Guild War. And then only one of these 3 at the bottom if you really like them.